Beach friends, today is going to be awesome. Don't worry about the threatening weather. It will not make us leave, and I'm going to tell you one of the free things I use to stay safe during storms on the beach a little later on. Right now, we're at Lighthouse Beach on Sanibel Island, and the tide is going out, and we will be spending most of our time in the swash zone looking for tiny treasures. Now, I've been trying to find my rhythm here at Lighthouse Beach because things really changed after Hurricane Ian, and I'm happy to report that I do finally find some really fabulous tiny treasures, including wintle traps, but I also find this incredible new to me shell that I'm really excited to show you because today is the first time I get to hold one in my hand. But let's go in order and first appreciate this fabulous tusk shell. Now, it does seem obvious where the shell gets its name from, but did you know that these critters eat single-cell organisms called protozoa? And if you want to see what else is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. Okay, here we are at Lighthouse Beach. Now, I am trying, at this point, I'm still trying to figure out my rhythm here. I've been here a couple of times, and it's been a little frustrating because I haven't been able to find the wintle traps that I've been really looking for. This is a common auger. These are fabulous little shells. One of the little shells I like anyway, but today I really appreciate the augers. But that's not exactly what I'm looking for. This is a half-buried apple murex, and that was just kind of that was unexpected, but an apple murex nonetheless. So that is here buried. Now, Lighthouse Beach, I've always heard people have great luck here. Here's some crossbarred Venus clams, and I really like the purple and the yellow interior of those rather common shells. I myself haven't ever really had great luck here, although I keep coming back and I keep trying. So that's a little bubble, and in my mind, it's almost like a little breadcrumb to finding wintle traps, which that is not. That is a dwarf olive, not a wintle trap. Still kind of fun finding those little tiny itty bitty, so it's a challenge. It is very fun, and the conditions need to be just kind of right. Ta-da! Okay, that's a wintle trap. And I'm like, yes, okay. They are here, and it's a little blurry. I'll find a couple more, so you definitely will be able to see them. Sorry about that. So, okay, all right. So the wintle traps are still here. It's just a matter of me figuring out how to find them. Okay, so this is number 2. Fantastic. They're here. So I know to kind of look just at the water's edge. Where am I? Okay, I'm in front of the lighthouse. I'm used to finding this stuff kind of around the corner on the other side. So I'm going to make my way over there because that was where I used to really find all the wintle traps. Here's another tusk shell. I don't seem to find these unless I'm really looking for the tinies. So that is a little tusk shell. So I know most of the time I have my head down, but every now and then I pick my head up, and I have been listening to the rumbling that has been going on over there. Yeah, it is definitely raining. It's a little disappointing because it was not supposed to rain today. But you know what? I had said earlier, if I was going to go to a beach and I thought there might be inclement weather, I would come to Lighthouse Beach. And the reason is that the parking lot, there's a building right there. If you're close to the parking lot, you're going to be close to buildings and shelter and your car. So if you had to choose a beach, it's a safer beach if the weather is going to be kind of iffy. That is a slipper shell, a fine little shell. And then these augers, the hermit crabs tend to like to hide in them. So I take my time, like I love looking at the augers, and anyway, I just make sure that nobody's hiding before I put those little shells in my shell bag. All right, Another spotted slipper snail, a fabulous little shell. I think of slippers as very social creatures. A lot of times you'll see them all kind of piled on top of each other. All right, a little, oh, bummer, it's broken. It's a little sharp ribbed drill, a little broken drill. Oh my goodness, it's huge. So we have a little lightning whelk. That's a great little example. And that shell gets its name from the little zigzags on the juvenile versions. So this is where I'm looking. This is my hunting grounds. This tiny little chewed up bits and pieces, and that's what I'm hoping we'll be finding some treasures in there. Now let's talk about what I do to keep myself safe on the beach. So there is weather in the area, and I saw it, and it's far enough away from me where I'm not ultimately concerned, but I do keep an eye on it, and I don't want to leave because the tide is still great. So I really want to stick it out, but gotta be safe. So I have an app called My Lightning Tracker. It looks like this. It's this yellow thing with a little zigzag on it. I have it set to 18 miles. I will get an alert that there's lightning in the area. The National Weather Service recommends seeking shelter when lightning's about 10 miles away. So I do keep an eye on these weather systems. I don't always have to leave or change anything, but I just like to be aware. My Lightning Tracker. I have an iPhone. That is what the app, that free app, looks like. Here's a chingle, also known as a baby's foot. Kind of neat. They come in all different colors. That one happens to be just kind of like a silver white color. That is a little apple murex. So when I'm tiny hunting, sometimes you just get smaller versions of the big shells, and other times you just find the tinies. Some stuff only gets so big, and you're only going to find it if you're pretty much like crawling around on the beach, which is kind of what I was doing. I was definitely planted in one spot for a while. What is this? Wait. What? It's a Simnia. It's a one-tooth Simnia. Oh my gosh. That is wicked cool. So they describe this shell as a spindle-shaped shell with an aperture stretching between the two pointed ends. A one-tooth Simnia. Oh my gosh. I have seen that over and over and over in my shell book. And I've never actually found one. I didn't realize they were so small. Man, that is cool. So I'm just kind of like humming at this point. I've never picked one of those up before. Oh, it's so neat. I'm going to keep shelling. That's a bruised NASA. But I'm just a lot more excited now because I have something really, really kind of fun in my shell bag. Now, strangely enough, the conditions for Wentel traps are not great as I approach the pier over there. This really used to be the area, but it's changed. So the Wentel trap area is not where it used to be. It kind of wrapped around the front of the lighthouse now, and it's kind of facing more the Gulf where it used to be kind of over there on the side. Hey, it is what it is. That's why I need to come back and kind of figure these things out. So this is kind of the area. It's changed for me. It's all right. It's cool. As long as I figured it out, and I'm going to pass this along to you. Here's a little broken pear whelk. So theoretically, if it was a great shell day, maybe there would be larger specimens, but that's really not what I'm here for. I don't expect it. I'm just here for tinies. And here's another lovely example of a tiny kitten paw. They will get a little bit bigger, but that's a little baby kitten paw. All right, now what we got? Oh, a little button snail. Man, they're so intricate. Beautiful. Never seen a live one. I have only ever found the shells. A little button snail. All right, what do we got here? Wentel trap. So when I'm looking for the Wentel traps, I am looking, it has a very circular opening. And so sometimes I'm really looking for those circles. Look at that. That's a variable coquina. Those tiny little seashells. They have the strongest hinges, the little ligament that kind of keeps the shells together. Little coquina. Oh, a boring turret snail. Not in great condition, but still kind of cool. It's a neat little shell. I don't typically find those. A boring turret snail. And this is like a miniature version of my favorite shell, the Florida fighting conch. Yep, that is my favorite seashell. That is a fly speck seraph. That is what I call an imposter. When I'm looking for Wentel traps, that particular shell shows up over and over and kind of messes me up. Or maybe just slows me down just a little bit. Another Wentel trap. Oh, I think it's broken. Yeah, the aperture, so that opening, it's a little broken. Is okay. What am I going to do? Really leave it for someone else and like hope somebody else finds it? No, I'll go ahead and keep it. A little broken Wentel trap. All right, another little variable coquina, little seraph of some point. What is this? I don't know. I stumbled upon the brown tip Mangelia. I don't think that's what that is, though. Just a neat shell, a little bit taller than I normally see. I don't know what it is. Another mystery. Wentel trap. Right, that is not a mystery. Oh, I'm trying to figure out. It's got a tiny little pinhole in it. That is okay. Again, just super happy. I figured out the Wentel trap mystery, so I can find them again. Auger. I think today was the day I think the augers might be my second favorite shell. I don't know. I don't have a second favorite yet. Maybe the auger, I don't know. We'll have to just see. All right, and I'm hearing rumbling. Yeah, it's still, the weather's kind of out there, but it's all right. I know I'm safe and sound. Lightning is way far away. I don't worry about the rain. It's only the lightning. I won't melt. I just might get fried. We don't want that. Now this is interesting. So that little V-shaped thing is called a dove. And that is one of the 5 little pieces, the grinding plates in a sand dollar. So that's like the mouth of a sand dollar. Weird, right? We call them doves. I've never found one outside of a sand dollar, but yeah, that little dove was just kind of like floating around. And now we know what this is because the opening is on the left, and one of the only gastropods that we know, or that I can think of, that is open on the left is the lightning whelk. Now, this little shell sent me down such a little rabbit hole. All right, so I'm gonna call this either a sparse dove snail or a false sparse dove snail. I couldn't really tease out the difference between the two, but I think I'm close enough. We're looking at some sort of sparse dove snail here. And man, these things are so tiny. It makes, tiny little thing. Neat though. Once you slow down. So these are the conditions that are great for looking for tinies. Oh, look at this. So that is a dwarf olive. Wait a minute. Look at all of the little, there's another little shell on my index finger. And what I saw was a dwarf olive that was about half the size of the one that I had picked up. So that was fascinating me. Look at this. They're like micro shells. Crazy. Those are literally like tinier than the little shells that come in egg casings. I am loving slowing down and appreciating all the tiny things, but it's also really beautiful, so I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy some beach time. All right, next up, now this is fun. One of these days I'll find a Sanibel turrid on Sanibel. This is a Tampa turrid that I'm finding on Sanibel. I don't know why that amuses me. So I've never shelled up in Tampa, but perhaps I would find one of those as well. So that is a Tampa turrid. See what I mean about the augers? Isn't that beautiful? I don't know, they're starting to speak to me, the augers. We'll just have to see. See how I feel if there's another shell that's going to kind of pop up in a second. Oh dear. Yeah, let's get rid of that garbage. So the smell of sunscreen is in the air. And when I think of that, I do think of Habana Brisa. Now, I did reach out to Habana Brisa. I wanted to partner with a reef safe sunscreen company. And when their motto is they love seeing people outdoors leading healthy lifestyles, have fun, enjoy the sunshine, but use reef-friendly sun care while you do it, well, that kind of just speaks to me. So if I can encourage you to be safe while I'm protecting the environment, big thumbs up. So you can go find Habana Breeza over at habanabreeza.com. And if you use code SWF10, you will get 10% off your order. Be safe out there. Protect your skin. Bubbles. More bubbles. Striate bubbles. They're fun little shells. And those are shells, when I start seeing them, I start thinking Wenzel traps. So it's always a good sign, in my opinion, when I see those bubbles, because perhaps there'll be a Wenzel trap or two. All right, I spy something buried. Look at that. All right, chestnut turban decided to make an appearance. What's funny, I had to go all the way up to Honeymoon Island to actually find the operculums of those chestnut turbans. Oh, little shark eye. That is a little true shark eye. Yep. So that is also, it's a member of the moon snail family, and we call that a shark eye. Okay, another wee little shark eye. What else we got? Oh, another little button snail. Terrific. Funny, about the same size. So we have a button snail and another little moon snail known as a shark eye. Awesome. A fighting conch. Yeah, it was a tough day for fighting conchs. This one's a little discolored. That black would not come off. Something like that is going to stay like that. So that is a lovely little fighting conch. Now this is a little scallop. It is missing its anterior wings. However, even though it's a little bit rounded, I did like the color. So I just wanted to show you. Pretty little calico scallop. Here is another lightning whelk. Oh, looks like I was busy picking up. Yeah, all right, got a bunch of other little teeny tiny things I'm looking for, but then the giant lightning whelk makes an appearance. Oh, that's quite all right. Now, this little brown shell, I think it's maybe a fly speck seraph, but it's so brown, it's just kind of tripping me up. I don't know. Now that is a Florida cone, and even the babies, I talk about the Florida cones, they get beat up. They are like party animals. They're always like cracked or broken, the Florida cones. A lettered olive. Not found. Oh, look at that. Glossy and pointy. Yeah, I'm kind of picky about my olives. I like them to be just so. Oh, another little apple murex. All right, so I see some like things are buried. And you know, you could sit here, like if you were going to sit and dig, I would say this would be a great spot to do it, especially if all the shells are kind of compacted here. It's just not how I typically like to shell. So that is a colorful moon snail. Not in great shape, but just, you know, they're here. So you could dig. I like to walk. I'm more of a low-hanging fruit. You know, if I see it, I pick it up. That is a little horse conch. So you certainly could, like I said, you could absolutely dig. I just kind of like walk. I try to kind of unbury a little bit, but I'm more of a, I see, I pick it up, kind of a sheller. That is a little true tulip. We have a little bit of an orange theme going on. We have that orange horse conch. It's broken. A little true tulip. That's okay. On a slow day like today, it's okay. Now look, I got a shell looking at me. Look at that shark eye, and I'm hoping, oh, please. Oh, you're a little big, and then I kind of go, oh, man. So, cool shell, cool find. I'm not going to keep it. Yeah, maybe somebody else. Well, maybe that's a great starter shell for somebody else's collection. But that is another shark eye. So we'll keep it moving. Ooh, this looks promising. Lots of little bits and pieces kind of rolling around here. Oh, do you see it? I do too. I was afraid I was going to miss it. But as it turns out, that is a fly speck seraph. And so I know a lot of times these shells look one way. I'm telling you, the water does something to them. What about this one? Now, that's what I'm talking about. Not the imposter, that's the real thing. An actual Wenzel trap. I don't know what that stuff is. I mean, it's just organic stuff. I really, it was soft. I don't know what else to call it. We got a little drill here, a Gulf oyster drill. Beautiful little shell. So I know there's stuff here. So what else? What other kind of fabulous little things? What is that? All right, that is a bruised NASA. Good. I'm glad I checked it out because I was curious what that was. A little limpet. A little cayenne keyhole limpet. Oh, it's so hard because everything's sticking to me. Because it's... Okay, another little slipper snail. I'll snag that little slipper snail. At least here you can kind of see it's really hard when it's really bright out. I know it's almost like counterintuitive. It's almost sometimes too bright. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Sometimes it can be really, really hard to see. Oh man, awesome. Another Wentel trap. Fantastic. And so this is when it really kind of like nailed it for me. It moved. The area that used to be great really did move. It's kind of in front of the White House, of the lighthouse now. And that's okay, bits and pieces. I'm not ready to leave yet. I feel like there's more here. Are you hiding? Oh, yep. And can you imagine? So I tend to like the water to be just like barely kind of lapping. And so if it was really, really windy, your conditions aren't going to be like this. And so it's kind of just need good conditions. All right, I think that's actually a brown part of a brown band Wentel trap, even though it's purple. So kind of weird. I don't know why that's purple. I did hold on to that. I'm still looking, I know. And again, I don't know what that other like fluffy stuff, I don't know what it is. Some sort of organic matter, but at least it's not, so much that I couldn't actually find the seashells. So this is more of just establishing where I am. So like I'm not far at all. So even if all things went very badly with the weather, for keep trying to keep my language clean, I could just run to my car. So I'm very close to the parking lot, having a great time. As a matter of fact, I almost feel like I know a secret that other people don't know. Like I'm having the best time, just kind of creeping along. I have that fabulous Simnia in my bag. I'm having so much fun, and there's so many little tiny treasures here. All right, a piece of Wentel trap, but still a Wentel trap. I think it counts. Yep, another little Wentel trap. Now, I do think that might be, I think that's a stocky sheriff. It's all beat up. I'd love to find one that wasn't so beat up. But I think 2 weeks in a row now, I do think that is a stocky sheriff. Neat. I do not see those very often. All right, we had some brand new little system kind of pop up, but again, I'm not concerned. And it really did work out that I came to Lighthouse Beach because like I said, I'm not worried if something gets a little squirrely. I can just literally just run to my car. Oh, I had so much fun with that little area. What do we got here? Oh, lettered olive. Yep. Give it the old shine test, the old thumb shine test. It's another lovely lettered olive. What are you? Kind of chasing you. Oh, now that's not a color I would expect from a sharp-ribbed drill, but here we are. Neat coloring on that, right? So that's a sharp-ribbed drill. I've never seen one like quite that color. Beautiful. Awesome little shell, and they only get so big. Now, when I shell, there are typically not a lot of people around, and maybe that's why I don't get kind of upset when I see garbage, but I mean, really, people? There are so many people just leaving the garbage there. It kind of bothered me. Nah. So this is another Tampa turrid. This one's a little bit beat up. That's okay. It's still kind of neat. I don't know why. Maybe because it has the city name in it. I don't know. I just kind of like those Tampa turrids. Another little itty bitty tiny cayenne keyhole limpet. Oh my gosh, it's tiny. A cool little shell. All right, another shark. These are massive. A huge shark eye. And a banded tulip. Well, yeah, it is Lighthouse Beach after all. And so while I typically don't usually have, super duper luck here, other people have great luck, and I do get the Wentel trap. So I will keep coming back to Lighthouse Beach. And I always kind of pause when I look at the buildings that are still kind of rebuilding from the hurricane. Now, one thing I will tell you, those storms kind of kicked up the wind, and it kept the no-see-ums away. So I got a break. In addition to not getting rained on, the bugs were leaving me alone because the wind picked up a little bit. This is an Atlantic giant cockle. I call them beach bowls. That is more like a beach thimble. But that is a little giant Atlantic cockle. Oh, and then the Sanibel scallop. So that is an calico scallop. Yeah, lovely looking thing. It's a little like faded, but still kind of pretty. Now this walk is a little unusual for me because I don't normally kind of hang around the same area. As you walk away from Lighthouse Beach, you will walk away from the people. Lots of storms in the area, so it really did work out that I came here. It was so good to me. I'm having so much fun. So yeah, there's all these shells here. It's a broken fighting conch. Just gotta look. You look a little harder. There's a little slipper shell. Oh, look at that. Another chestnut turban, but it has a hitchhiker that is one little itty bitty little slipper snail kind of attached to that. So that means it needs to stay here at the beach. All the critters, you didn't want to take it. It would smell terrible. All the living things should stay at the beach. A buttercup lucine. A lovely seashell, one of the larger shells. I do like them. Complete with its drill hole that apparently was done by a shark eye. They do like to drill and slurp their contents out. So it was a successful trip to Lighthouse Beach. I had so much fun. That one-tooth Simnia, oh my gosh, and the Wenzel trap, so for sure. I will definitely be back. I want to find another one of those one-tooth Simnias. Now, as far as garbage, I took off 0.65, so I know it's very, very light, but in total, I've managed to remove a little over 52 pounds of garbage from the beach, so I just feel it all adds up. And I was rewarded with a couple of other really fabulous goodies. Okay, so we have crossbarred Venus clams there on the bottom, 2 little limpets, 2 little horse conchs, and then those are lettered olives. Above it, we have the lightning whelks, apple murex, couple little surf clams, banded tulip, the colorful moon snail, and then the regular shark eyes. And then above that, we have a yellow prickly cockle, the buttercup lucine, the giant Atlantic cockle, a worm snail. Below that, the Florida cone, the top snail, the true tulip, all of those slipper snails, the one little kitten paw, all the augurs. They were fabulous. There was even little itty bitty ones that were great. Couple of little scallops, some of the calico scallops, the button shells on the left there, some of those drills, one chestnut turban, the fly speck ceriths, those are the fighting conchs. That's it. I think the stocky cerith, the dark ceriths, bubbles, variable coquinas, the jingle, kind of pop over. We have some drills over there, the button shells, and then slide over the tusk shells. There was 2 of those, that dove, and then there were dwarf olives, there was bruised nasses, the Tampa turds there, the sharp rib drill, that weird mystery shell, that sparse dove, or the false sparse dove shell, there's that. But honestly, the one shell for me, it was the one-tooth Simnia. That was awesome to find it and hold it in my hand, and it was so exciting for me to be out there, and I finally see something new because I've been out there a lot and I see a lot of stuff, and it's all really, really great. I love learning about it, but seeing something new is super fun. Patreons, thank you for kind of giving me some insight. I asked you what I should do about my new shell, and I kind of have a plan for how I'm going to go about this the next time I see something fun on the beach. So Patreons, thank you once again for being rock stars. I don't know where we're going next week. The tides and the weather have not been cooperating, but I always seem to make it work. So you know what? Once I do figure it out, I'm going to post it over on Patreon. So I hope you have yourself a great week, and I will see you all again next Sunday.